I can feel how my old patterns are trying to sneak in. What to do to break patterns? Number one, you need to see you have one. And number two, you need to replace old patterns, habitual behavior. How do you build habits? By behavioral patterns that you continuously do. So there is something about consistency and continuity that Guy ultimately builds a pattern. It's not helpful. 6 days per week, do nothing. And then you go one day to the gym and give your everything. No, it's better you have some type of consistency. This is what builds healthy patterns. What is somebody supposed to do? Number one, look at music yourself and see yourself. We are all not perfect, but according to the circumstances that you are facing right now today, Snorts with what do you want to equip your character that he is able to go through this current times in the best possible manner. What is not useful for you anymore? Try to get rid of it and get your music new skills in. Your brain doesn't repeat bad habits. It repeats efficient ones. Every time you did it, it became faster, easier, more automatic. That's why bad habits feel effortless and new ones feel exhausting. Most people try to change everything in one day, then stop and wonder why nothing changed. You don't remove a pattern. You replace it not with something big, with something almost too small to be proud of, but small enough to actually repeat again and again until your brain starts choosing it without being told. That's when the change is real, not when you decide, when you don't have to think about it anymore. You have some mindset where challenge is not an obstacle for you, where difficulties in life is nothing that stops you but a difficulty in life, a challenge in life, a conflict that comes up. Everything that makes you actually feel uncomfortable at the first glance. It's nothing that is depressing you because it is so heartbreaking, because it goes so deep. It carries the potential for the highest transformation. Music, this type of change of perspective. If the circumstances music right now are like this, and with the mindset which is in your hands, you can still transform it somehow. The highest transformation can happen in the Buddhist teachings. Number one sentence is, with our thoughts, we music create the world. The circumstances are not going to change. What happened to you is not going to change. But dependent on how you are tuning your thoughts, something about it is going to change. This is why the power of the mind is so important. Outside there, the wars, everything is not going to change because it's not dependent on what you want. You can only determine what is going to be the consequence of what comes to you. How will you transform it? Will you let it stuck inside of you and it slowly eats music you up from the inside, or do you make something different about it? And this is based on the thoughts, on the mental redirectioning of yourself. Most people think change happens by avoiding difficulty, but what actually rewires your brain is how you interpret it. If every challenge feels like resistance, your mind learns to avoid it. But if you start seeing discomfort as progress, the same experience builds a completely different pattern. That's the shift. The event doesn't change. What changes is what your brain learns from it. Pride. The mind is something very intelligent. It is something very, very powerful. because it is so powerful, can make you suffer a lot, or can make you flourish also a lot. So we can create something with the mind, or we can destroy something with the mind. We can use the mind to really use it and benefit our well-being. But we can also use the mind to destroy our music well-being. So the question is, how do you use the mind in the music proper way? This is like one question. And how now to make better use music of the mind, or better use of the presence? This is the point where now music, it comes to all different types of practices that are existing in this world, like focus on the breath, do your internal work, focus on the movement, focus on the sound. Everything music that brings you into the present, this one doesn't happen in the past. There's nothing more real. There's nothing more direct, nothing music more present than something like this. To remind yourself also again to identify. Okay, I'm drifting off right now. Come back when I inhale and I feel this stream of air that goes in the moment where your mind is locked on the breath. This can only happen in the present. You cannot feel the breath of the past. There is no inhalation of the future. It doesn't matter eventually what is it that you music are, let's say, locking your mind on, as long as it is something that music happens in the present. And this is where all these exercises are coming in. Your mind is powerful. It can build your life or work against it. Most of the time, it runs automatically repeating what it already learned. That's why old patterns outlast good intentions. Attention is what changes this. Where your attention goes, the mind follows. And whatever the mind repeats, it strengthens. This is why simple actions matter. A sound, a breath, a movement. Music. They pull your attention back not as an idea, but as something real. Music. And in that moment, the automatic loop breaks. When attention holds steady, old patterns lose their grip. And that's where control begins. When I talk with you right now, I know what I talk. Yeah. When I'm eating, I feel the sense of the food. When I'm sleeping, I'm really trying to enjoy the sense of body is resting, mind is resting. This is how sleep feels. These are all type of practices. When I walk out in the street and the sun is shining on my face and the people are sitting there at the coffee and music, you hear they talking, but I walk and I feel, I sense this is the sunshine. This is the people talking. My music feet are moving. I'm here. I know what I do. I know what I'm surrounded with. So being just very present, being very aware. The awareness is key because without it, there is no enjoyment. You don't make use of what you have. Awareness is making it finally real for you. You worked so hard for it. Now you have it. Enjoy it. Yeah. But you can't enjoy it if all music the time you think about last week, or if you think all the time about what happens in the future. Enjoying what you have is music. You arrive exactly where you are right now with what you have. That's it. There is no wishing for something more of the future. And there's not wishing for something that wouldn't have happened of the past. No, you're in the present. That's it. And the more you realize this about music yourself, the more you integrate this just into your normal being, then it starts to shift. Just bring more presence into Clear's throat present. You already have most of what you want. But awareness is what makes it real. Without it, experience passes through you. Nothing stays. Nothing lands. Most of your life happens while your mind is somewhere else, on what music was or what comes next. This is not meditation. It is direct experience. A walk down the street, sunlight on your face, people talking, music feet on the ground, ordinary moments fully met. That is what enjoyment actually requires. Not more, not better. Just attention on what is already here. You cannot enjoy a meal you're not tasting. You cannot rest in a body you are not feeling. You cannot live a moment your mind is not in. Awareness is what makes experience real. Without it, even what you worked for goes unnoticed. The past and the future are not the problem, but a mind that stays there misses the only place life exists. Presence is not something you switch on. It is something you build through small, repeated returns. And the more you return, the more it becomes natural. And the more it becomes natural, the more your life becomes available to you. What is it that allows you to take music a step back, to see actually what is happening to you? See what type of hindrance, what music is blocking you. In order to see what is happening to you, you need to be able to step out from your emotional body and step out from your music pain body. And then with a clear view, you can tell, oh, okay, I was a little bit like carried away in the moment. You start to see actually what happened to you. How were the interactions? You have to develop a type of calmness in order to step out from music, your emotional and pain body. Most people lose control in small, ordinary moments. A tone of voice, a reaction, a feeling that quietly takes over. By the time you notice, you are already inside it. What changes? Music, this is not time, it is position. You step out of the emotional body. You step out of the pain body. When you are inside the emotion, there is no separation between what you feel and what you think is true. The moment you create distance, the situation becomes visible as it is. You stop reacting from within. You start observing. And in that space, what you do next is no longer automatic. Pray, anger, frustration. How do you go beyond it? Personally, Gad, I breathe in deeply and I breathe out. I am very aware that I have it right now. And I combine my breath music, meaning something is getting out of me together with my deep intention, and music with my deep connection of the mind, together with the breath. First of all, they don't know better. If they would have more music information available, they would maybe see me differently. This is what I do. It's like a valve before you start imploding. Before the pressure music builds up. Get rid of that steam. Get rid of that air out. Combine the breath with a music intention. Work with intention more consciously. A mantra can be helpful. In such moments, music, you have something you always tell to yourself. Continuously repeat. If you merge together the thought, they don't know better. Together with the cultivation of a hard quality of compassion inside of you, has a very powerful impact. Reactions do not begin at full intensity. They build first as tension in the body and momentum in the mind. That early stage is the only moment where interruption remains possible. Master Sha Hungi uses a deliberate breath to vent the internal pressure, reducing the buildup while it's still forming. This creates a brief gap in what would otherwise proceed unchecked, one that allows for a shift in interpretation. They don't know better. The other person's behavior is seen not as deliberate music intent, but as the result of limited awareness. When this reframe is combined with a deliberate cultivation of compassion, the emotional reaction loses its force before it turns into outward behavior. Each step depends on the one before it. Without early awareness, there is no interruption. Without interruption, the shift never happens. Be content, be full, wake up and already be ready. Waking up and knowing everything you need, here it is. Now, whatever comes during the day doesn't really matter, because you know that you have been complete already. Now you can engage in the things. You can enjoy your time. That is not a problem, because you know already the foundation of your life. It's here. It's stable. It's solid. People say, yeah, so should I not do the things that are available today? Should I not go on the beach if I like to go on the beach? Buy a nice car if I like to buy a nice car? I didn't say that. What I'm saying is, if your satisfaction about life, your fullness of life is dependent on these music things, then it's a problem, because they will not be available to you at music all times. Because the availability of these things is not because of what you want. It's because of how the circumstances are. Find yourself, build yourself up, invest in yourself, make yourself stable, figure out your place in the world. And when this is established, now enjoy the world. Gay satisfaction is normally placed after external conditions. What is obtained determines how one feels. This creates instability, because those conditions lie outside personal control and shift independently of desire. This teaching reverses the sequence. The internal state is established first. Before the day begins, a sense of sufficiency is already music in place. External events then occur, but they no longer serve as the source of satisfaction. They can still be engaged with. Their role changes music from necessary to optional. When satisfaction depends on what is available, it rises, music, and falls with those conditions. When it's established internally first, external changes no longer affect it. The order itself determines the outcome. At the core, this is about where stability comes from. Most reactions, frustrations, and dependencies follow the same pattern. Something outside music defines the state inside. What changes is not the situation. It is what is already in place before the situation arrives, before reaction, before dependency, before the day even begins. Once that is in place, what happens outside still unfolds, but it no longer determines the internal state.